It's normal for him to have all this hype. He's from London and most of his fights have been here. But I actually think he's a bit of a kid. You know, he's got good things, but he's got a lot of bad things as well. So.
Yeah, he's done it! Paddy has done it in London!
Last one from me, just so we can make sure we still have the headline. The plan is still to knock him out and twerk on him afterwards?
Yeah, finish the fight, twerk, go home.
This is it! That's tight, he gets it! He gets the tap! The Paddy party goes to the next level!
I'm going to go in there, I'm going to finish Paddy.
I don't watch his fights, so I really don't know much about the guy. I just see him doing this little thing. I'm like, who does that? Who does that?
And the armbar is where it's going to be done! There it is! It's gone! Paddy Pimblett!
I'm here to prove there are levels to this game. All respect to Paddy, the baddie, but I don't need a jingle. I'm the real deal. Let's do this thing.
Throw more than one. Oh! There it is, the king of the north! Paddy Pimblett! Welcome to the land of the elite!
They called him a clown, a hype job, a joke. But no one was laughing once they were choking on their own blood. Before fighting Paddy Pimblett, they mocked him. Afterwards, they were broken and humiliated. From choking out Jordan Leavitt to dismantling Michael Chandler at UFC 314. This isn't just a highlight reel, it's a warning. They underestimated him and they paid with pain, silence, and shattered careers. Now, witness the aftermath, before and after fighting Paddy the Baddie Pimblett.
Can't be doing that. I'll be so disappointed in myself if he gets out the second round. That simple. I'm coming in to finish him and finish him in emphatic fashion and go home with a nice bonus check. That's my plan.
Alright, let's rewind a few years back to that glorious time when Paddy Pimblett wasn't really taken seriously by the MMA community. Back then, he came off more like a hyped, fueled jester, someone the UFC could squeeze popularity from in the UK by feeding him not-so-dangerous opponents. And honestly, they only gave him those fights because his image started attracting attention. And the world's best league never minds boosting a rising star with big-name potential. The baddie made his UFC debut in September 2021 and knocked out LUIGI VENDRAMINI in the very first round. That's when, during his post-fight interview, he dropped that iconic line.
You know me saying, lad, I'm a scouser. We don't get knocked out.
Pimblett's partnership with the UFC really started to pay off for both sides. His stock kept rising, and with it, his overall value. Next up on the chopping block was a Mexican fighter, Rodrigo Vargas, whom Paddy submitted in the first round, picking up his second straight finish in the world's best league. Saying fans instantly fell in love with the Scouser would be an understatement. Some even started predicting that his future could be brighter than Conor McGregor's.
Yeah, I knew that anyway. I knew when I got signed that they'd make a big deal of it because I'm me. You know what I mean? Just because it's me. I know that anyway. I put bums on seats and I bring hype to shows, and I knew they were going to make a big deal out of it. Not many people get like a just signed for the UFC on the actual UFC page when they get signed. You know what I mean? And I got that. It's just going to keep doing that. Everything's just getting bigger and better as we go along. I keep saying bigger and better, but that's just the way everything's happening.
His next victim, Jordan Leavitt, an American fighter who, let's be honest, wasn't all that impressive in any way. His record didn't wow anyone, his skills weren't anything special, and as for trash talk, the guy wasn't reinventing the wheel, he came up with painfully average lines. Seriously, just listen for yourself if you don't believe us.
I don't follow him on social media, and I didn't really know about Paddy until his debut, so I don't think I'm gonna be starstruck. I don't really see him as a star. He's just a guy that's 0-2 in the UFC, and he fought some guys that had losing records in the UFC, and there's plenty of guys in the roster like that. So I'm just kind of trying to separate this fight from the Flash, and you know, on paper, I'm not too interested in this matchup, to be honest. So. And I think I'm a little too smart to make a lot of the mistakes that a lot of his opponents have made. If I take him down, I'm not letting him up. If I hurt him, I'm not going to let off the pressure. And he's not the most accurate striker. He has one real knockout. and he's a regional champ, and I've fought all those things before, so.
And then there's that twerking line we showed at the beginning. Yeah, that alone sealed the deal. Leavitt somehow managed to be even cringier than Paddy himself, and ended up getting all the hate from fans before fight night. Surprisingly, Paddy came into this one with a much more aggressive attitude towards Jordan.
You see
No, it's not. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna take his head off. I'm not gonna be shooting no takedowns. I'm coming to stand with him and to take his head off. I'm coming to take his chin on with me.
Every true fan of the baddie knows how this one ended. Paddy choked him out on the second round, then danced over him after the tap. As they say, the best way to mock a cringy opponent is with some cringe of your own.
He's very unorthodox, he is. He's a very unorthodox fighter, and as I say, I was going to out-weird him, and I out-weirded him.
Yeah. This could be it for the top 100. This is it. And Tyson gets it. He gets the tap. The Paddy party goes to the next level.
Then came December 2023. Paddy Pimblett was matched up with none other than El Cucuy, former UFC lightweight champion, legendary veteran, and one of the most beloved fighters in the game, Tony Ferguson. After spending a year healing from injuries, the baddie returned to the octagon at UFC 296, looking to take out the dangerous vet.
Yeah, the boogeyman, lad. It's an honour to share the cage with him, to be honest, lad. Someone who's had a 12-fight win streak in the lightweight division. Something that'll probably never get matched again. And yeah, it's an honour to get in the cage with him, lad, to be honest. Can't wait to fight. Can't wait to shut a lot of doubters up and prove all my fans right.
The Scouser was fired up for this one. The storyline was gold. A 6-fight winning streak versus a 6-fight losing streak. That added plenty of fuel to the UFC 296 fire, especially with Leon Edwards headlining, a guy who never chases pay-per-view numbers. All in all, the hype was real. Tony was locked in like never before, and it came out that he had been training with none other than David Goggins.
Well, it's going to go the way I want. I already visualized it. I trained my ass off for it. I don't see this kid beating me. He's worried about me blocking him on Instagram. Sensitive little bastards. Wait till you get cut and you start to see your own blood. You're gonna run out of that cage back to mommy.
No, so Patrick, you're talking about Patrick. I call him Patrick.
Okay.
Same thing when I call him Nathan. He's a good fighter. He's long, rangy, lanky. He likes to put on a show. He's kind of mouthy. Obviously, he's English. I think he used to fight at 145, 55er, tall kind of guy. Good submission specialist. Very beatable. He's on a 6-fight win streak. The last fight that he had against Jared Gordon, everybody says that he ended up losing. Tonight, I'm actually going to be watching that fight. Just been watching a couple highlights of him. Very beatable guy. 6-fight win streak versus a 6-loss losing streak, which is fucked up. I hold a couple records in the UFC now, and I would like to start that back up.
Keep fucking dreaming, dude. That shit is not gonna happen. Ketchup sandwich, I'm gonna cut you so fucking bad they're gonna have to stitch you up.
I want you to.
The truth is, Paddy was damn close to finishing Tony Ferguson with a knockout in the very first round. But since that didn't happen, the Scouser just secured a dominant unanimous decision win, and no one had any doubts about it.
Yeah, of course, it's a bit of redemption, but this is this sport we live in, lad. You get judged on your last performance. There's probably still people talking shit about me now, saying I couldn't finish a washed-up Tony. You know what I mean? That's the game we play, lad. The MMA fan base is very toxic, but we get on with it.
Yeah, just like the Scouser called it, the public wasn't letting it go. Everyone kept talking about how Paddy didn't finish El Cucuy, like that's something easy to do, like getting Justin Gaethje to bite on a firefight in the middle of the octagon when the round's almost over. All in all, the UFC saw this as a chance to finally push the Scouser into the top 15. But for that to happen, he had to get past another veteran, someone who actually did finish Ferguson back in the day. Yep, we're talking about Bobby, also known as King Green, at UFC 304.
Imagine being nearly 40 years of age and changing your name to King. It's embarrassing, lad. You know what I mean? Grow up, innit? Like as I've said in other interviews, CTE is real.
You know, spoiled kids. Certain kids that don't know that you got the whole house. Everything's been built around you. And I think it goes back for me to like my days where I come from, like, because I didn't have a mom and dad. I seen those kids act like that at school. I'm like, man, they don't even know how they treat their mom and their dad. They're like spoiled, you know? And he acts the same way. It's like he doesn't realize the UFC's working with him, giving him every opportunity, building you. I had to earn it. They had to put me through the fire. I've been forged by fire. They built you, you know, and there's a difference between us too. And so
I just can't wait to punch Bobby's head in and take the ranking, know what I mean? Not just get handed the ranking, take the ranking.
Some people really thought King Green would test the baddie and drag him into deep waters. If this was an article instead of a video, we'd have laughing emojis all over the place. No cap. But here's the point. Pimblett crushed it like big time. He wrecked King in just over 3 minutes, broke his arm and put him to sleep too. That was the first time Green had been submitted in nearly a decade, if not more.
I'm okay, I guess. You know, shit happens. Feel like I slipped into some shit and it just all went the perfect way. I had a bad night, no excuses. Shit happens. I live by a code, kill or be killed. Today I got killed.
you ever heard of a blooper? You know what that is? Like a blooper reel where the guy slips on a banana peel and then he falls into a bucket and, you know, like some shit like that. Well, there's some times where I've had so many fights, I'm like, hey, that's new on my list. Like, so I think I went to go punch him and he kicked my leg and then I kind of slipped and I went down. So people were like, why'd you shoot on him? And I was already like fucking down there. I kind of just fell into it. So I shot and then he capitalized on it. And so a mistake I made, fucking just slipped on a banana peel. And it happens like that, you know? I felt like I lost a Super Bowl and it is what it is.
Tight. And the armbar is going to be done. There it is. That's it. It's done. Paddy Pimblett by submission in round one. He chokes King Greeners out cold.
And of course, Paddy's most recent fight so far was against none other than the unforgettable Michael Chandler, also known as See You at the Top, also known as Hey McGregor, let's fight, also known as I'm the top dog and Paddy ain't. Their showdown took place on April 12th, 2025 in the co-main event of UFC 314. But before we dive into the fight itself, let's check out what both Chandler and Pimblett had to say before they stepped in the cage.
It's a big fight, it's a fun fight, it's a fight that I like stylistically, not to take anything away from him, but when you fought Poirier, you fought Gaethje, you fought Oliveira, you fought Dan Hooker, the fighting Paddy Pimblett sounds like a fun day at the office compared to some of those.
Man, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do exactly what I always do. I'm going to have 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on Paddy's throat. I'm going to throw big bombs, and we're going to see if he sinks or swims. Look at the size of those paws, dude.
Come on, lad. See the size of these?
Look at the size of those paws.
See the size of these?
Bird hands, dude.
Hey, the resume speaks for itself, man. I've done nothing but doing hand-to-hand combat for 24 years. I love what I do, and I love doing it in the UFC. And if you don't love the brand of Paddy Pimblett, it's fun, it's exciting. He's a guy who brings it. Scousers don't get knocked out. We'll put his name to the test. UFC 314. Let's go, baby.
Chandler's take was pretty clear. His whole narrative was that the Scouser wasn't on his level because he hadn't been punched in the face by the lightweight division's elite. But Paddy? His thoughts were genuinely interesting. No joke. Just listen closely to what he said.
I was saying this yesterday in an interview, I don't see where he can beat me. Only way he's going to beat me is if he throws a Hail Mary punch and it knocks me out, but I don't get knocked out, lad. I can see me just dismantling him and beating him everywhere, and I can see me beating him more convincingly than Poirier, Gaethje and Charles did. It's no fight of the night coming this time. I'm getting performance of the night after a fast finish.
And if Paddy keeps dropping razor-sharp predictions like that, he might just steal Mystic Mac's title too. We don't even need to say anything more. He talked the talk and he walked the walk. Paddy Pimblett smashed Michael Chandler to bits, took home the bonus and broke into the lightweight top 10. That's it. That's the guy. The king in the north is here.
This is how we win. We game plan, we use our fight IQ, and we beat up. Anyone else got any questions?
To go round 3. Oh, go. There it is, the king of the north. Paddy Pimblett, welcome to the land.
Even Chandler posted a short message afterward, a picture of him holding his son's hand with a simple caption saying that as long as his heart's beating, he's already a winner. And honestly, you can understand that. What else can you say in a situation like that? Paddy Pimblett is now the real deal, and everyone knows it. He was seriously underrated for years, but the man just kept grinding, kept leveling up, and now he's at the point where he nearly buried a former title contender. The future looks very promising for the baddie. The sky's not even the limit anymore. That's it for today's video. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos, and of course, smash that like button if you enjoyed this one. See you soon.